Guys, things just got serious. And when I say serious, I mean the Oticon own Sirius, of course, which is Oticon's new hearing aid due to be released in February 2025. So spare me 10 minutes or so today, and I'll share with you what's new with the new Oticon own SI. I'll share with you what's missing, which in my opinion in 2025 is madness. And then finally, if I think that your search for your perfect hearing aid can finally come to an end. So Oticon released their previous family of custom hearing aids the Oticon owns almost 3 years ago now, in August of 2022. And it was made up of 5 different models, from their invisible Inconel style going all the way up to their full shell model, with differing features available between them. Now, when I say custom made, I mean that for this particular style, an impression needs to be taken of your ear by an audiologist, making them personal for the shape and size of your individual ear. Now, Oticon have sadly chosen not to replace this entire family of hearing aids on this occasion, and today's announcement is that they're only superseding 2 of these models. That's the invisible in canal model and completely in canal style, meaning that if you're still interested in their in the canal, in the ear half shell, or their in the ear full shell models, then you'll have to stick with the 2022 models for now. So what makes the Oticon own SI different from its predecessor? Well, aside from it having all of the features and size benefits of the Oticon own, I think that there are 3 particular highlights worth mentioning today. Noise, noise, noise. The ultimate enemy for anyone out there with hearing loss, and Oticon are claiming to be leading the race when it comes to improving your ability to understand speech in the presence of background noise, starting with their developments in artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence in custom-made hearing aids is especially important because there simply isn't enough space to house dual microphones, which has been the industry standard when it comes to improving speech understanding in background noise. And so, to improve your hearing ability in noise, Oticon have looked for other solutions, with AI being their solution. Oticon's Sirius computer chip is what this hearing aid is all about, housing a deep neural network, which is essentially like giving the hearing aid its own functioning brain, and has been trained using a massive amount of data, so millions of sounds essentially, such as speech, noise, music, traffic, nature sounds, and essentially anything that you can think of or you may hear on a day-to-day basis. And then by analysing this information, the hearing aid learns to distinguish between speech, which of course you want to hear, and noise, which you don't. But then what about sudden loud noises too, which aren't really noises in the traditional sense, but something that my patients often complain about, such as the clattering of emptying the dishwasher or doors slamming? Well, Oticon have developed a feature which consistently monitors the incoming sounds using advanced algorithms, and they've named it their sudden sound stabilizer. This is designed to smoothen out those sudden loud sounds, so instead of getting a jarring spike in volume, the hearing aid is intelligent enough to adjust the amplification and make it more comfortable before it reaches your ear. Now, this all sounds very impressive, as it always does from each hearing aid manufacturer, but the big question is, does it actually work? Well, in Oticon studies, and I want to highlight that this is Oticon's own research and not my own, comparing their technology to their previous models from 2022, they found that the own SI provides up to 5.4 decibels of signal to noise ratio enhancement, which makes speech stand out more from background noise by up to 2.7 decibels compared to their previous model. In English, this means that speech should sound clearer and more distinct from background noise, akin to turning up the volume of the voices you want to hear and turning down the volume of everything else, making it easier for you to follow conversations. In turn, this should therefore lead to the technology performing significantly better than its predecessor at reducing listening fatigue, which, in my opinion, is a big deal. As you all know better than I, how exhausting it can be in a busy restaurant or cocktail party having to concentrate so hard on hearing what's being said. Now, to the same point, something that I do mention in all of my videos when quoting manufacturer research is that I kind of take it with a pinch of salt. Because of course, each manufacturer tries to find a way of making their hearing aids come out on top. So if I were you, I would head over to the Hearing Tracker website for our full breakdown, including independent testing on how all of these hearing aids perform, tested to the same specifications. And whilst you're at it, it's worth me also sharing that today's video is simply a launch video telling you about this new technology. And when I've had the opportunity for me and my team to fit these hearing aids to a bunch of people, I will provide you with a full review of real world feedback. So I would encourage you to press the like button and subscribe to ensure that you're notified when that next video goes live. Now, you've got to admit that the life of an in-the-ear hearing aid is indeed pretty rubbish. I mean, it starts out great, I'm sure. They're built with love, care and attention in a Danish paradise. But then pow, they wake up one day and then they spend the rest of their life in a dark, damp, waxy human orifice. This is of course not ideal for any electronic device. And Oticon have developed this technology with this miserable life in mind, ensuring that they live up to an IP68 water and dust resistance rating. And this rating is pretty much the industry standard nowadays and means that technically they should be able to be submerged in 1.5 meters of water for 30 minutes and they should still function afterwards. I'm told that they've done this by nano coating both the internal components and externally coating the devices themselves. Saying that, I would recommend still storing any in-the-ear hearing aid from any manufacturer in a drying cup along with a drying tablet to reduce any moisture buildup that may build up during the course of the day. And that's no matter what the manufacturers say about how robust they are. Now team, you know that I'm not one of those YouTubers that only highlights the positives. Sorry, Oticon. And therefore, there are a few things that you should be aware of if you're considering this new technology. So first of all, as I said earlier, these new hearing aids and AI developments are only available in both the IIC and CIC style, meaning that if you're someone after one of the larger models, which you may well be after my next point, then you'll miss out on Bluetooth connectivity. And so that is the streaming of phone calls, music, and the radio or podcasts, even your TV, directly to both of your hearing aids. So ultimately, with this new release, you'll have to choose between an older model and Bluetooth, or a new model without Bluetooth. And I can't for the life of me figure out why Oticon wouldn't have released this whole family together so that you didn't have to make this choice. The second thing missing in these hearing aids is a telecoil, which in reality is for the reasons of not having enough space. Now, this long-standing technology allows your hearing aids to connect to the source of a sound at the likes of the theatre, cinema or place of worship, and it provides crystal clear speech clarity at a distance. Now, I perfectly understand why it's not in these hearing aids, due again to the lack of space, but again, because Oticon have only released half of the family of hearing aids, it means that if you want a telecoil, you have to opt for the older tech and miss out on the AI features, which again, I personally won't be doing with any of my patients. Can you see where I'm going with this? I mentioned earlier that dual microphones are the gold standard at this moment in time when it comes to hearing in background noise. And combining that with AI, I've achieved some incredible results with my patients. So again, this is something that the 3 other sizes of these hearing aids have. And to echo my previous points, if you want those dual microphones and most effective speech understanding in noise, again, you have to opt for older tech. Now, I have to say that 90+% of the hearing aids that I fit nowadays are rechargeable. It's got to be as big as that. Meaning that with a quick 3-hour charge, your hearing aids will last you for a full day. In fact, some hearing aid manufacturers will give you charge for 50+ hours. Saying that, Oticon still haven't joined the party when it comes to rechargeable custom-made hearing aids. And so you'll need to change the batteries on these hearing aids roughly once every 3 to 5 days. In my opinion, personally, this isn't too much of a big deal. However, it's pretty much an expectation now from any new patients or for any new patients coming through my clinic doors that their new hearing aids will be rechargeable. And come on, disposable batteries are so 2024. So, you want to buy these hearing aids? Don't bother. I'm joking. Don't bother yet, at least not until you've seen this video highlighting the best hearing aids of 2025.